and welcome back. We're continuing our Python Django application build out. And if you remember, last time we were working on our roadmaps and we really had just sort of gotten into the basics. We focused on the model. This time around, we're going to actually add some more pieces to this. One of the things I want to do as part of this is notice how we're sort of bumped up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our list. And I'm just going to do something very simple. I'm going to put all of this into a div that's going to be a container. And this is a Bootstrap thing. And so I'm going to do that. And it's just going to allow me to make stuff look a little bit better. And so if I just do that and go here, we're going to see that now. And we're going to play around with our containers a little bit, but now it sort of offsets stuff a little bit, so it doesn't look so cramped within there. We are also going to, let's start with being able to create one. So before, and this is in the ability to continue to reuse stuff, we had task edit. So we're going to duplicate that. And now it's going to be roadmap edit. And we're going to come into our, well, let's go to our URLs. We'll start from our URLs. So before we had, where did we put it? We had tasks. Oh, here we go. So we had edit task. I'm going to take that same thing. And this one's going to be roadmap. Now this is where, a slight detour here, this is where we could potentially find usage in actually importing other files of URLs. We did it here with, we've done it with admin and some things like that. We could also see where we may want to do, for example, since we have CRUD kind of stuff, is that maybe everything that came off of roadmap, you know, let's say it could be, we could do roadmap edit and roadmap add, roadmap delete, roadmap list, and then have sort of a series of URLs based off of those. In which case, we could push all that into a single file and include it, much like we did with accounts. Because here we had this path accounts, and we include, it's just going to tack everything in Django contrib auth URLs to accounts. So we could make it actually simpler here, and instead like task and how we're doing tasks and all that kind of stuff. We could make a set of URL patterns that are basically driven by the core object that they work with, and make it a little cleaner and easier. And particularly if you're building an API or something like that, it may seem much easier to, much more user-friendly. We're not going to do that right now. I just wanted to mention that. So we're going to come in and instead of edit tasks, it's going to be edit roadmap and with an ID. So let's go find edit task. Here it is. And this is now going to be, actually, let's move it down here by list roadmaps. It's going to be edit roadmap. It's still going to be, take that ID. The data now is going to be, instead of task, it's going to be roadmap. The owner is going to be the same. And now we're going to use the roadmap form. Let's see, we'll keep the message there. Post, we're going to allow it to delete just because. So for now, it's going to be roadmaps. I think that's what we called it. Yep, roadmaps. It's going to be a roadmap instead of a task. Now this is the note that is a danger if we're going through and copy and pasting our way through this stuff, is that if we miss something, it could become rather bad. For example, like if I didn't update the roadmap to task, it would still work, assuming that the roadmap ID that we send for delete actually exists as a task. It would actually delete that task. So we have to watch this. Going to have to go through it sort of line by line. But notice how quickly we can get through this stuff. So we've got a roadmap form. If it's valid, it's saved. We're going to redirect to roadmaps. It's either an invalid record. The title is going to be edit roadmap. Title message, and then it's going to be roadmap edit. And then let's save that. And if we go to roadmap edit, since we used the form, it's actually going to be pretty straightforward. So we've got our save, we've got our delete. We really have, let's go ahead and put this in a container as well, which we probably, actually, let's be really slick about this. So our content, let's make it always a container. So let me go back to our roadmap list. So again, using that blocks, using our blocks in a very useful way. So if we go back to, normally this is internal. Let's do everything internal. We're going to wrap it in a container. And so now we're going to see here, so it should still look here. So there's my roadmaps. About is an internal, create a task. So now we've got all of these guys. I broke to-dos somewhere, but that's okay. We'll come back to these a little bit. So notice now we've got a container for everything. Okay. Let's go back to roadmaps. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to clean up our navigation a little bit here. So first, let's do just a task list. We're going to take that, and this is going to be roadmap. So we'll get that. And we're not going to have a create task directly anymore. We're going to keep tasks to do. Actually, we're going to probably get rid of tasks. Well, we'll leave that for now. And let's move about to the end towards where logout is. And that'll work for now. So now we can get to our roadmaps. But because we don't have a way to create a roadmap, we're going to go here and we're going to want to have a button. So we have edit. And let's see, that was in our items. But then above there, we're going to have one here that is just going to be create roadmap. And I believe we just want to send it to 0 because I think that was how we set create. So let's go take a look at how we did. Where did we do create? So I think I think we just sent it. Let's go back and look at our navigation real quick. When we did, create task just went to task. Okay. So if we go to task, it just did create task. So let's just do that. We'll keep that. So if we don't do it, so roadmap without an ID is going to be create roadmap. Let's go back to our roadmap list. So it's just going to go to roadmap. And so now we want to take, so let's see, so we got our URL set up. Now let's get our view. So let's go look for create, there we go, create tasks. So now we're going to do the same thing we did before. And this is going to be create roadmap. We'll put it down here, sort of group it with the roadmap stuff. Data is going to be a roadmap form, create a new record, create roadmap, post is going to come in, and it's still going to be, now it's going to be a roadmap form. Valid, invalid record, bam, 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 and it's going to do roadmap edit, which we already created, I believe, somewhere. Yeah, with edit roadmap. So now, let's see, got roadmap edit. So actually now we should be able to take a look. We did a lot of changes here. So now we can see our roadmap list. So we come to home, log in, let's do roadmaps. So now there's no roadmaps created. Oh, notice that that's all bumped together. So let's go back real quickly, and in our roadmap list, we're going to just do a, let's just do a line break. Actually, let's do 2. We may clean this up and do some nice stuff better later, but for now, do that. So you can create a roadmap, and we don't have any created. So now let's create one. Create a roadmap, create a new record. We'll leave that for now. So this is going to be annual goals 2021. Yeah, and notice we had that help text there. Due date, we will make it a due date of December 31st, 2021. So at the end of the year, we want to get that thing done. We're going to save it, see if it works. It does. We did not, on a save, go back. So let's go take a look at that. If we go to our views, let's see, that was edit. And so here, what we really want to do is we want to do, let's see, if it's a post, we're going to do a redirect. And on creating a roadmap, here, if it's a post, instead of going through all of this stuff, we're actually going to go through and say we did everything we needed to. We're going to redirect to roadmaps and have it go back to our item. We don't need to worry about that right now. So if we go to our list, we're going to see that we now have our annual goals. And if we edit it, we do not have our edit set up right. So let's go take a look at that. Roadmap. URLs. Oh, I don't think I did. Roadmap, edit roadmap. Maybe I did not get my ID right. Let's take a look here. Well, let's go back and look here. Oh, it didn't add an ID. So if we look here, it's not roadmap ID, it is item ID. So let's go back, refresh our page. Now it should go, and boom, we're able to edit it. And we'll add a little text here, save the record. Oh, I got a delete in there somewhere. What we want to do is let's do this, delete in request.post. And we're going to do that for our, up here for the other delete that we used, because we want to fix that. It's the good and the bad of copy and paste. So if we do all of those, and now we come back, let's make sure we're running. We are. And now if we resend it, let's see if we get anything. So we do, and we can see that we updated our name here. And so we're able to now build out a roadmap. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to need to actually tie a task to a roadmap. So we'll actually do a master detail relationship, and we will cover that in the next episode, because I want to keep this one short. I don't want to get too complex in it. So we're just going to keep chugging along and adding values, value to our little application. So hope this helped you out. As always, you can check out the link in the show notes. This will be tag day 29 if you want to see the latest code. As always, go out there, have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you next time.